Hello lovecatmay friends, welcome back to lovecatmay. Whoosh! Si bosselbulu langsung sprint begita lihat pemiliknya pergi sedikit jaw. Sesapat angin dia lari, mata fokus, hati penuh semangat. Misai hari ini, menyusul pemilik kesayangan. On a peaceful morning, when dew still clung gently to blades of soft green grass, a large wicker basket sat sweetly in the middle of a cool, quiet meadow. The basket looked simple, but that day it became the stage for 5 curious and playful cats. The newly risen sunlight touched their fur, making it glow softly as if nature itself was giving them a special spotlight for their adventure. Standing on top of the basket was a graceful gray cat, the eldest sibling. Her fur was smooth, her eyes sharp yet kind, and the small golden collar around her neck made her look like a tiny, elegant leader. She always acted protective over her younger siblings. She stood firm, one paw lifted, as if ready to make a quick move at any moment. Sure enough, right in front of her, a feathered toy at the end of a string swayed gently, tugged softly by the morning breeze. Inside and around the basket sat 4 adorable cream-colored kittens. Their round eyes sparkled with curiosity as they followed the colorful feather toy dancing through the air. They were still very young, only a few weeks old, but their sense of wonder was endless. The first kitten, sitting right at the front opening of the basket, had the purest expression. Its bright blue eyes blinked in fascination. It didn't fully understand what that fluffy, wiggly thing was, but it knew one thing: it moved, and it wanted to catch it. Even though the kitten was not as fast or steady as its older sibling, its determination alone could make anyone smile. Beside it, 2 other kittens sat close together. They looked almost identical, same faces, same fur, and even the same puzzled expression. They watched the feather toy like little scientists trying to analyze an important mystery. Sometimes they tilted their heads at the exact same angle, as if silently asking, "What is that? Why does it move like that?" On the right side of the basket, the 4th cream kitten looked a bit more adventurous. It had already planted its front paws firmly, ready to leap the moment the feather came close enough. Its serious face made it look like a tiny warrior preparing for battle. Above them all, the gray elder sibling raised her paw and attempted to catch the feather first. But every time she got close, the breeze lifted the toy slightly higher. She let out a soft huff, not out of frustration, but as though accepting a playful challenge. The wicker basket became the perfect little headquarters for their game. At the bottom edge, 2 kittens sat side by side, their tiny bodies touching as if giving each other moral support. They were still too small to jump high, so they watched intently, their eyes sparkling with admiration for their big sister. A gentle breeze brushed through the grass, adding to the calmness of the morning. But that peaceful moment didn't last long, because when the feather suddenly dipped lower, just a whisker away from the nearest kitten's head, adorable chaos began. Without warning, all the cats moved at once. The oldest gray cat, naturally the quickest, leaped halfway into the air, swinging her paws with impressive grace. The bold cream kitten also tried to jump, though its footing was still wobbly, causing it to nearly slip off the side of the basket. The 2 tiny kittens below leaned forward, as if trying to help even though they were too far to reach anything. The feather rose again, making all the kittens freeze, stare, and wait. In that single silent second, 5 pairs of round eyes focused on the same point. 5 tiny tails flicked with anticipation. 5 little hearts waited for the toy to move again. And then, the feather dropped. The adventure continued. The eldest gray cat gathered all her focus. She knew her younger siblings depended on her to catch the toy. She adjusted her stance, lowering her body like a small forest hunter preparing for the perfect pounce. Then, swish! She jumped higher than before. But the feather shifted sideways, leaving her paws grasping only air. The younger kittens chirped tiny meows, almost as though they were giggling and cheering for her. "Try again, sister. You can do it." And the gray cat, as if understanding them, flicked her tail and prepared for another attempt. Meanwhile, the smallest kitten at the front of the basket began making the cutest movements. It kept stretching its paws upward, trying to reach the feather even though it was far too high. Each time it raised its paws, it almost toppled backward. Yet it stood back up, tried again, and fell again. Its persistence made the scene even sweeter. Not far away, the twin kittens had their own strategy. They didn't jump, they waited. Patiently. Calmly. Quietly. They acted like two little guards, waiting for the perfect moment. And when the feather suddenly swooped down right in front of their faces, both kittens raised their paws at the same time, only for the feather to dodge them at the very last instant. The eldest gray cat then paused to think. She sat, eyes fixed on the feather with intense calculation. Her long tail swayed slowly behind her, a sign of deep feline focus. She realized she couldn't rely on speed alone. She needed to be clever. She waited. Lowered her body. Waited again. And when the feather drifted down softly, perfectly aligned with her eyes. Hop. She leaped with surprising speed and precision. This time, her paw hit something. She caught the feather. All four kittens below let out tiny celebratory meows. The elder cat stood proudly atop the basket, holding the feather toy like she had just won a grand trophy. The kittens gathered beneath her, looking up with pure admiration. They looked like little students staring at their brave champion. The gray cat lowered her voice in a soft meow, as if saying, "Don't worry. We'll play together now." She gently dropped the feather down, letting her younger siblings join the fun. The kittens immediately pounced, chasing, nibbling, batting, and bumping into one another in the cutest way. The peaceful morning transformed into the most joyful play session. The laughter of nature, the soft breeze, and the cluster of tiny meows blended into a warm harmony that could melt anyone's heart. And in that bright green meadow, 5 little cats showed that happiness can be wonderfully simple: a wicker basket, a patch of soft grass, and one colorful feather dancing in the wind. The world might see it as just an ordinary morning. But for this tiny family, it was an unforgettable adventure they would always cherish. The kittens continued to play. The wind shifted softly, carrying the scent of fresh flowers from the far side of the meadow. The eldest gray cat lifted her head, her ears twitching with curiosity. She stepped to the edge of the basket and looked out over the grass, where tiny butterflies began fluttering in the sunlight. Their delicate wings shimmered in soft yellows and whites. The kittens immediately noticed. One by one, they scrambled out of the basket, some sliding, some tumbling, some hopping clumsily onto the grass. Their little paws pressed into the cool earth as they began chasing the drifting butterflies. Every time a butterfly rose higher, the kittens rose on their back legs, trying to follow it. When it floated low again, they ran with adorable, uneven steps, stumbling yet never giving up. The meadow filled with new energy.